Ms. Lira was nervous. It was her first day as a teacher at the Galactic Academy, a school where young aliens from many planets came to learn. She stood in front of her class, adjusting her robe and her long antennae, which were shaking with worry. She was from a peaceful race called the Valari, and she loved teaching, but this class was different. It was time to teach them about Earth. "Settle down, students," Ms. Lira said, clapping her webbed hands together. Her students, all different colors and shapes, groaned loudly. They hated lessons about other planets, especially one as dangerous as Earth. "Today, we are going to learn why Earth is called a death world," she said. Some students laughed, others rolled their eyes. One, a bright blue thorn, raised her tentacle. "Is it really that bad? I heard humans just live in big caves and never go outside." Ms. Lira smiled. "That is just a rumor. Let's find out the truth together." Ms. Lira activated the large screen behind her, showing pictures of Earth, green forests, deep oceans, and tall mountains. The students looked surprised. Earth didn't look so dangerous. "Earth looks nice," said a small, red-scaled student from the back. "Yes," Ms. Lira agreed. "It looks beautiful, but Earth is full of dangers. The gravity is strong, the weather is extreme, and the animals," she paused, showing a picture of a lion, "can be very dangerous." The class gasped. One of the students, a thin, orange Zelkin, stood up. "How do humans survive there?" "Good question," Ms. Lira said. "Humans are very strong and smart. They have learned to adapt to the challenges of their world." "Adapt?" asked the blue thorn from earlier. "Like a changing." "Exactly," Ms. Lira smiled. "Humans have learned to survive in places where most other species could not." In the next lesson, Ms. Lira explained more about humans. She showed images of humans lifting heavy objects, running fast, and building huge cities. "Humans have to be strong," she said, "because their world is full of challenges. The strong gravity forces their bodies to grow tougher, and they are always inventing new ways to solve problems." A yellow student with 4 arms raised one hand. "But what about space? Can they live there?" Ms. Lira nodded. "Yes, they have even built homes in space. They have sent ships to other planets and moons." The students looked amazed. "So, they're not afraid of space?" asked the red-scaled student. "No," Ms. Lira said, "they're not afraid. In fact, they are always trying to explore more of it." Not everything about Earth was perfect. Ms. Lira explained that while humans were strong, their world was also very dangerous. "Humans have to fight against their environment every day," she said. "They deal with natural disasters like earthquakes, floods, and storms. Some humans also fight each other, which is very sad." The class became quiet. "Why do they fight?" asked the orange Zelkin. Ms. Lira sighed. "Sometimes they fight over resources or because they don't understand each other. But even in those hard times, humans show great courage." One student, who had been quiet all this time, raised his voice. "Maybe that's why Earth is called a death world. Not because it's full of death, but because life there is always a struggle." Ms. Lira smiled. "That's a very wise thought." In the final lesson, Ms. Lira wanted to leave her students with something important. "Earth is not a perfect place," she began, "but it is special. Humans have learned to survive on a world that many of us would find impossible to live on." She looked at her class, who were now paying full attention. "We should respect them, not because they are perfect, but because they continue to grow and survive, even in the hardest conditions." The blue thorn raised her tentacle one last time. "So, humans are strong because their world is hard?" "Yes," Ms. Lira said with a nod, "and that's why we call Earth a death world. It is dangerous, but it has created one of the most resilient species in the galaxy." The class fell silent, now filled with a new sense of respect for humans. Ms. Lira smiled, happy to have shared this lesson with them. The bell rang, and the students left, still thinking about everything they had learned. Ms. Lira watched them go, feeling proud of the strange lesson they had shared.